All right, let's jump right in, no time to waste. We're diving deep into SEO today, and specifically how to use the 80-20 rule to really boost those rankings, get more traffic, and make the most of our efforts. Ready to unlock some serious online potential.
Absolutely. And the beauty of the 80-20 rule is that it's all about working smarter, not harder.
Okay, so keywords first, right? They're kind of the foundation of everything in SEO.
For sure, keywords are essential, but here's where things get interesting. Not all keywords are created equal.
Right, I've heard about that. Like some keywords are super competitive while others are more niche, right?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine you're a small business, maybe selling handmade jewelry online. If you're only targeting a broad keyword like jewelry, you're up against giants like Amazon and Etsy.
Talk about an uphill battle. So how do we find those keywords that will actually give us a fighting chance?
That's where the 80-20 rule comes in. We focus on what are called long tail keywords.
Long tail keywords, those are the longer, more specific phrases people search, right?
Exactly. Instead of jewelry, think sterling silver earrings for sensitive ears or handmade beaded necklaces for weddings.
Okay, I'm seeing the difference. Those are much more targeted.
And here's the thing. These long tail keywords may individually get less search volume, but together they make up a huge portion of all organic traffic.
Wow, really? Like how much?
Think about it. When people search online, they're usually looking for something pretty specific.
True. I know when I'm searching for something, I try to be as detailed as possible to find exactly what I need.
Exactly, and the stats show that. Long-tail keywords account for a whopping 70% of all organic search traffic.
That's incredible. Okay, so we need to be using those long-tail keywords, but how do we actually find them?
There are some great tools out there like Ahrefs and SEMrush that can help you uncover those hidden gems.
Tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush, I've heard those names before.
Yeah.
So those can help us figure out what specific phrases people are actually searching for.
Absolutely. They'll give you insights into search volume, competition, and even suggest related keywords you might not have thought of.
Okay, that's super helpful. So once we've got those golden long-tail keywords, what do we do with them?
Now it's time to sprinkle them into your website's content.
Content, right. That's everything on our website. From product descriptions to blog posts to, well, everything, right?
Exactly. Your website copy, blog posts, product descriptions, even your image alt tags. These keywords are your secret sauce to getting found by the right people.
Okay, so we need to make sure we're using those keywords naturally throughout our content. But let's be honest, creating high quality content can be super time consuming.
Totally agree. And that's where the 80-20 rule can save us a ton of time and effort.
Okay, how so? Do we just write shorter blog posts or something?
No, not necessarily. It's more about focusing on creating more content that's good enough instead of striving for perfection with every single piece.
So you're saying it's okay to let go of the pursuit of flawless content?
Exactly. And it's not about sacrificing quality altogether, but it is about finding that sweet spot. Remember, the 80-20 rule tells us that a small percentage of our efforts drive the majority of our results. So instead of getting bogged down trying to make everything perfect, focus on creating more content that's valuable and aligns with those long-tail keywords we talked about.
Interesting. So we need to find a balance between creating high quality content, but also creating enough content to cover all those important long-tail keywords.
Absolutely. Think about it this way. Would you rather have 10 perfectly polished blog posts that get a few views each, or 50 good enough blog posts that each attract a steady stream of visitors?
Good point. I'd definitely rather have more content that's reaching a wider audience. And is there any data to back that up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A whopping 75% of organic traffic comes from just 10% of website pages. So there are a few key pieces of content on your website that are likely driving the majority of your traffic.
So it's like finding those golden nuggets in a mountain of content.
You got it. The 80-20 rule helps us to zoom in and focus our energy on those nuggets.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So we're not just creating content for the sake of creating content. We're creating content that's strategically aligned with those long tail keywords. And we're focusing on creating more of it rather than trying to make every piece perfect.
You nailed it. And remember, once you start creating more content, you can always go back and update and improve your older pieces as you go along.
Okay, I'm getting it. So we've talked about keywords and content. What else should we be thinking about when applying the 80-20 rule to SEO?
Well, we can't forget about backlinks.
Backlinks, those are like links from other websites back to our website. Yep.
Exactly. They're like votes of confidence from other websites telling Google that your website is trustworthy and worth checking out.
So the more backlinks, the better, right?
Not quite. Remember, we're all about working smarter, not harder. A few high-quality backlinks from authoritative websites are much more valuable than a ton of low-quality links.
So it's like getting a recommendation from a well-respected expert versus a bunch of random people on the street.
You got it. Think of it like this. A backlink from a major news website or a popular industry blog is going to carry a lot more weight than a backlink from, say, a spammy directory or a low-quality forum.
Okay, that makes sense. So quality over quantity when it comes to backlinks.
Absolutely. And this is where the 80-20 rule comes in. Again, 50% of backlinks actually come from just 10% of website pages.
Wow, so that means there are certain pages out there that are just magnets for backlinks.
Exactly. And those are the types of pages we want to focus on when building our backlink strategy.
So how do we find those high-quality websites to get backlinks from? Do we just email them and ask?
Well, you could try that, but there are more effective strategies. One popular approach is guest blogging. Have you ever considered that?
Guest blogging? Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never actually done it.
It's a fantastic way to build relationships with other website owners in your niche and get your content in front of a new audience.
Okay, I'm listening. How does it work exactly?
Basically, you reach out to websites in your industry and offer to write a high-quality blog post for their website. In return, they'll usually give you a backlink back to your website.
So it's like a win-win situation. They get free content and we get a valuable backlink.
Exactly. And by focusing on guest blogging on high-authority websites, you're ensuring that those backlinks are going to pack a punch and really boost your SEO.
Okay, that makes sense. So guest blogging is a good way to get those high-quality backlinks that we need.
Exactly. And there are other strategies too, but guest blogging is definitely one of the most effective.
Got it. So we've talked about keywords, content, and backlinks. Is there anything else we need to cover when it comes to the 80-20 rule and SEO?
Well, we can't forget about the technical side of things.
Technical SEO. That's where my eyes start to glaze over. It all seems so complicated.
I know it can seem intimidating, but it's really not as complex as it sounds. And the good news is the 80-20 rule applies here too. You don't need to be a tech wizard to make a big impact.
Okay, that's reassuring. So what are some of the key technical SEO elements we should be focusing on?
Well, one of the most important is mobile optimization.
Mobile optimization. Right, because everyone's on their phones these days.
Exactly. And Google knows that. In fact, they've switched to what's called mobile-first indexing, which means they primarily use the mobile version of your website for ranking and indexing.
So if our website isn't mobile friendly, we're basically shooting ourselves in the foot.
Pretty much. These days, it's essential that your website looks good and functions flawlessly on all devices, from smartphones to tablets to desktops.
Okay, mobile optimization check. What else is there?
Another big one is site speed. No one likes a slow website, and Google definitely doesn't either.
Oh, I know. I've definitely abandoned websites before because they were taking forever to load.
And you're not alone. Research shows that even a 1-second delay in page load time can lead to a 7% reduction in conversions.
Wow, that's huge. So how do we make sure our website is loading as quickly as possible?
There are a lot of things you can do, from optimizing your images to using a content delivery network, CDN.
Content delivery network, what's that?
It's basically a network of servers that deliver your website's content to users based on their geographic location.
So it helps to make sure our website is loading quickly for everyone, no matter where they are in the world.
Exactly. And there are a bunch of other technical things you can do too, but mobile optimization and site speed are definitely two of the most important.
Okay, got it. Mobile optimization and site speed. Anything else we should know about on the technical side?
One more thing, crawlability.
Crawlability, what's that?
It's all about making sure that Google can easily find and index all of the pages on your website.
So it's not enough to just have great content. Google needs to be able to actually find it and read it.
Exactly. And there are a few things you can do to improve your website's crawlability, such as creating a sitemap and making sure your website structure is logical and easy to navigate.
Okay, so sitemap and website structure. Got it.
And remember, Google is constantly crawling and indexing websites, so it's important to keep these technical elements in mind as you're creating new content and making changes to your website.
This is all great information. I'm starting to see how all of these pieces fit together. Keywords, content, backlinks, technical SEO. It's like a whole ecosystem.
Exactly. And the 80-20 rule helps us navigate this ecosystem effectively, focusing on the actions that are going to have the biggest impact on our SEO.
This has been so insightful. But before we move on, we want to remind everyone to check out the links in the description below for some incredible SEO resources and offers that can really help you take your online presence to the next level. You don't want to miss out.
Great point. Those resources can really help you put all of these strategies into action. All right, so we've been talking a lot about the more technical aspects of SEO, but we can't forget about the human side of things.
Right. The whole point of SEO is to get people to actually visit our website, so we need to make sure they have a good experience once they get there.
Exactly. User experience, or UX, is a crucial part of the SEO puzzle.
UX. Okay, so what exactly does that mean in terms of SEO?
Think of it this way. Imagine you walk into a store that's cluttered, poorly lit, and impossible to navigate. You'd probably turn around and leave, right?
Totally. Who wants to shop in a place like that?
Your website is your digital storefront. If it's confusing, slow, or frustrating to use, people will bounce faster than you can say SEO disaster.
Okay, I see what you mean. We want to create a website that's like the opposite of that chaotic store, a place where people feel welcome and can easily find what they're looking for.
Exactly, and that's where good UX design comes in. It's all about understanding your target audience, their needs, and how they behave on your website.
So it's like putting ourselves in our visitors' shoes and asking what would make their experience on our website amazing.
Precisely. And remember, Google's watching too. They're tracking things like how long people stay on your site, how many pages they visit, and whether they take any desired actions like making a purchase or filling out a contact form.
So Google's basically our secret shopper, evaluating how user-friendly our website is.
You got it. And a positive user experience sends those strong signals to Google that your website is valuable and worth ranking higher.
This is all starting to click. Now I'm seeing how all these pieces fit together. Keywords, content backlinks, technical SEO, and now UX. It's like a symphony of SEO elements all working in harmony.
You got it. And the 80-20 rule is our conductor helping us focus on the parts that make the biggest impact.
Okay, I'm feeling like a digital maestro now.
That's the spirit. But remember, even the best orchestras need to practice and refine their performance. SEO is an ongoing process.
Right, so we're never really done. We're always looking for ways to improve.
Exactly, and that's part of what makes it so exciting. The digital landscape is always changing, so we need to be adaptable and willing to experiment.
Speaking of exciting new things, have we talked about featured snippets yet?
Ah, yes, featured snippets, those little boxes of information that pop up at the top of Google's search results. The holy grail of SEO.
Okay, those definitely catch my eye when I'm searching for something. So how do we get our content featured in one of those prime spots?
It all comes down to understanding search intent and structuring your content to provide clear, concise answers to common questions.
So if someone's searching for how to bake the perfect chocolate chip cookie, we'd want to have a section on our website that specifically addresses that question, maybe even with a step-by-step guide.
Exactly. Make it super easy for Google to extract that information and showcase it in a snippet.
And that can make a huge difference in click-through rates, right?
Absolutely. People are much more likely to click on a result that gives them that instant answer right there on the search results page.
Makes sense. So featured snippets are a big win for SEO.
For sure. And while we're on the topic of search, we can't forget about the rise of voice search.
Voice search, right? Everyone's talking to their devices these days.
And it's definitely changing the SEO game. We need to be optimizing for those conversational queries.
So how do we do that? Do we need to start writing our content in the form of questions and answers?
It's not quite that literal, but we do need to shift our thinking a bit. People tend to speak differently than they type, so our content needs to reflect that.
So instead of targeting a keyword like best running shoes, we might target a phrase like, what are the best running shoes for marathon training?
You gotta think about how people would actually phrase their questions when speaking to a voice assistant.
Okay, that's a good tip. And is there any connection between voice search and featured snippets?
Oh, absolutely. There's a strong correlation there. In fact, over 40% of voice search answers are actually pulled from featured snippets.
Wow, so if we're not optimizing for featured snippets, we're missing out on a big chunk of potential traffic from voice search.
Exactly. It all ties back to providing valuable, concise, and easy to understand content.
This is mind-blowing. We've covered so much ground today, from keywords to content to backlinks, technical SEO, UX, featured snippets, and now voice search.
It's all connected, and the 80-20 rule helps us to see the forest through the trees and focus our energy where it matters most.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the world of SEO and the power of the 80-20 rule.
And we're not done yet. We've got one more part to this epic trilogy.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll wrap up all of this amazing information and leave you with some actionable steps to take your SEO to the next level. Welcome back. So we've covered a ton of ground, from keywords and content to backlinks and technical SEO. I feel like my brain is bursting with new ideas, but now I'm wondering, where do we actually start putting all of this into action?
Right, I know. It can feel overwhelming. But don't worry, that's where the 80-20 rule comes in handy again. It's about focusing our energy where it truly matters, and for most websites, the best starting point is analyzing your existing data.
Data analysis, okay. What exactly do we mean by that?
Think of it like this. Your website is already generating a ton of valuable information about what's working and what's not. We just need to unlock those insights. And the best tool for the job is Google Analytics.
Google Analytics, got it. Most websites have that set up already, right?
They should. It's a free tool from Google that gives you a wealth of data about your website's traffic.
Okay, so we fire up Google Analytics. What are we looking for?
The first thing you want to check out is the behavior section, specifically the site content report. This will show you which pages on your website are getting the most traffic.
So we're identifying the top performers, the 20% of pages that are driving the majority of traffic.
Exactly. We're finding those golden nuggets, the pages that are already resonating with your audience.
And once we know which pages those are, what do?
We become SEO detectives. We start digging deeper to understand why those pages are performing so well.
Okay, I like that. So what kind of clues are we looking for?
Look at the keywords those pages are ranking for.
Right.
Are they long tail keywords, short tail keywords, or a mix of both? Then dive into the content itself. What topics are covered? What's the style and tone? How is the content structured?
So we're analyzing the content to see what's working. And what about backlinks?
Yes. Check how many backlinks those top performing pages have and where those backlinks are coming from. Are they from high authority websites? Are they relevant to your industry? This can give you valuable insights into your backlink strategy.
Okay, this is making sense. So we're basically reverse engineering the success of our best performing pages to figure out what's working and then replicate those strategies across our entire website.
You got it. It's like having a cheat sheet for SEO success.
So we're learning from our own successes. And I'm guessing the 80-20 rule applies here as well, right?
Right.
We don't need to analyze every single page on our website, just the top performers.
Exactly. Focus on the 20% of pages that are driving 80% of your results, and you'll be well on your way to maximizing your SEO efforts.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've learned so much about the 80-20 rule and how to apply it to every aspect of SEO, from keyword research and content creation to backlink building and technical optimization.
And remember, the 80-20 rule isn't just a one-time tactic. It's a mindset, a way of approaching your work to maximize your impact and achieve better results with less effort.
I completely agree. It's about working smarter, not harder, and focusing on the actions that truly move the needle. I feel like we've been given the keys to unlock a whole new level of online success. And I'm confident our listeners are feeling inspired and empowered to take action and put all of these incredible strategies to work. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. It's been a real pleasure.
It's been my pleasure as well. And to all of our listeners out there, remember, knowledge is power. And you now have the power to transform your online presence and achieve incredible things. So go out there, optimize, experiment, and watch your SEO soar.
And that's a wrap on our SEO deep dive. We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration of the digital world.